If you open your security system's remote playback and see a timeline that's completely solid red, or if your smartphone is constantly buzzing with endless push notifications, you're experiencing a common issue, and I'm going to give you some methods to try and fix it and get your alerts figured correctly. The usual suspect is that the system's default setting is standard motion detection. Regular motion detection is scanning for any kind of movement. Environmental factors like rain and wind will cause your system to constantly record events and flood your mobile app with notifications. In this video, we'll show you how to configure your NVR for smart alerts from people and vehicles only. Fortunately, resolving this timeline issue is a very straightforward process. We'll run through the exact options for these fixes using both the web interface and the local NVR GUI methods. The local NVR GUI method is a little bit easier, but the web interface is usually more convenient depending on the physical location of your NVR. After we fix the standard motion detection issue, we'll look at further means to reduce false alarms at your property by using arming schedules and key disarming to manage notifications during busy hours. Finally, we'll cover adjustments for choppy remote video streams and exposure balancing for harsh lighting conditions that can sometimes mess with the camera's detections. So this will be method 1, using your web browser. So if you want to configure your recorder from a computer over a local network, use the following steps to ensure everything loads correctly. Open the web interface from Microsoft Edge on your computer. You can do this from Easy Station by clicking this button and copying the IP address from here and pasting it into your browser. Paste it in to our top bar. And then once it's pasted in, we're actually going to copy it again. That way it's got the HTTP copied in as well. And I have the web plugin installed, so it's going to prompt me here to open it, and you're going to want to do that. But if you don't have the web plugin installed already, you're going to want to click the yellow tab at the top to install it. Now we're going to click the 3 dots in the top right of Edge, and we're going to go to Settings. From Settings, we'll search for Internet Explorer, and we're going to click Add Page. Internet Explorer's older protocols allow us to run the plugin to see our cameras. And then we're going to go back to our web interface login and refresh the page. And as you can see from the little Internet Explorer icon at the top left, next to our IP address, it's worked and it's loaded correctly. So now we're going to log in. Click on the Setup menu at the top. We're going to select Alarm from the left panel, and then you'll find yourself in the Motion tab. Switch the configuration from Standard Motion Detection to Ultra Motion Detection, or UMD. And this updates the logic to focus exclusively on people and vehicles. And you can choose to only focus on one if you wish. If your camera model does not support ultra motion detection, you can have a look and see if you can configure Smart Intrusion Prevention on the Smart menu, which is at the top, and you can use this to build either a crossline or an intrusion zone, which is very similar to ultra motion detection. We have another tutorial for that here if you want to go into more depth about that, but it's very similar. Anyway, back to ultra motion detection on the alarm page. By default, the system monitors the entire view. We're going to click clear to wipe the current box, and then click and drag with your mouse to draw a specific detection area. We want to make sure our boundary excludes any background variables such as public roads and paths. These will get a lot of traffic and they're going to give you more alerts that you don't need. So we want to remove those areas by drawing the box around only what we want. Here we have the sensitivity slider. As a rule, for close-up areas like doorways or porches, we might want to set the sensitivity a little lower. And then for distant perimeters, like the far end of a driveway, we want to set it a little higher so that the system can log the smaller, more distant targets. Most importantly, don't forget to click Save at the bottom of the screen. And then next we're going to set up our trigger action schedules. While you're still in the setup, alarm and motion menu, open the trigger actions tab and ensure the recording checkbox is enabled for the corresponding camera channel. If it's unchecked, your changes will not reflect the footage events. Click save here. And then let's have a quick look at the arming schedule with the tab to the left. Here you can see what times your camera records and marks human and vehicle events. Blue means that the camera is recording the event, and white means it's deactivated for that time. The web interface gives us a nice visual representation of these armed times, and in my opinion, it's a little easier to configure it like this. So let's say you have a busy home and you only wanted events during the night. Well, it's easy for us to set the day hours to be disarmed by drawing this white box over what days and hours we want. And then when we're finished, we click save. That's all good. So the second method is going to be directly on your NVR monitor. So from the local GUI, right click anywhere on the screen to open up the login tab. I'm going to log in. From here, head to alarm. And then you'll be on the similar page. Select your camera. And we're going to select, again, ultra motion detection. And again, we're going to want to draw our detection area. So we're going to click this little box here. It's going to bring us full page. And we're just going to click and drag, click and drag, and complete the square. And when we're finished, we can right click. And then once again, the sensitivity slider. A lower value is good for entrance paths, and you want to increase it if you've got more distant monitoring zones. And then click apply at the bottom to save your adjustments. That's the same as save, so you want to click apply. We're going to go to the trigger actions tab, and we're going to make sure that our camera is recording for this. And then we can also click off that. And then we're going to configure the arming schedules from the GUI interface. We can go to our arming schedule, and then from the arming schedule, we can make sure that we are recording events. You can adjust these however you see fit. So with arming schedules, we've also got one key disarming. So this can be quite easy to do from the mobile app. When we go into the app, we can find, let's say, one of our systems here, and we have this little green shield. And what we can do is we can disarm directly from just by clicking that. Let's say if we want to have a party, or perhaps we've got some guests coming over and we don't want the system to be alarming, then we can just click this button and then we'll get this little notification, and just like that, the system is disarmed. And then to rearm it, we just click it again and it's rearmed. So alert anomalies or connection errors are sometimes caused by network constraints or exposure settings. These two tweaks can help address these issues. So fixing choppy remote video. If selecting a notification causes your video stream to drop or lag, it usually indicates a localized upload limitation. Let's go to setup from here, and we can find this on the encoding tab. You're going to ensure your NVR is configured to record both a high quality main stream for hard drive storage and a lower resolution substream, so that when your internet speeds aren't maybe as good, the mobile app is going to automatically request the substream. And this is going to ensure rapid loading times and smooth timeline navigation. Click save to save. High contrast areas of light and dark can sometimes have an effect on your motion detection or your ultra motion detection. For example, if it's too overexposed, you're not going to be able to see one area, and so it's not actually going to be able to pick up people in those areas. Now to fix this, we can go to Setup, Image, and then from the image, we can go to their exposure settings. And then from here, we can find a setting called WDR. Now WDR is wide dynamic range. We want to turn this on to on or auto for high contrast environments. And we have a compensation slider for adjusting this. So this is going to work best when you're looking at a very high contrast scene, like camera inside looking out to a door. So we'll head back to the GUI now just to have a look at the camera encoding settings from here. So here we go to camera, audio and video, and here we've got our encoding settings. And once again, set a high resolution for your mainstream and a much lower resolution for your substream. And then after you've configured your encoding settings, we'll want to go to configuration and then image. And then from here, we can also find the exposure tab where we can configure WDR to on. And that's going to help you with your high contrast areas. We're also going to want to maintain long-term system performance. So remember 2 quick maintenance practices if you're ever having trouble. Firmware updates. So you want to ensure both your recorder and cameras are running the latest software patches, as these updates regularly refine target detection accuracy and resolve application issues. To find your updates, we're going to go to Setup on our NVR, and then we're going to head to Upgrade, NVR Upgrade, and check for Cloud Upgrade. As you can see, we do need to upgrade our NVR here, so I'm going to click Upgrade. And that's going to run, and it's going to take a few minutes, and your NVR is going to restart. And then once that's done, you can also look at configuring automated weekly reboots. A routine system restart can flush your cache, and it can help prevent notification delays or software stutter. You can find that from the Maintenance tab, and in the Maintenance tab, you can find automatic system restarts. So here you can select which day. You want to select a random time most likely. You're all good. From the NVR, if you want to upgrade your firmware, you can find that from the Maintenance tab, and it's quite easy to find. From there, it's System Upgrade. From there, we can check as long as we're connected to our network for update. And then we can also, from the Maintenance tab here, schedule weekly system restarts to clean the cache. And now if we go back into Easy Station, we select our camera, we have a look at our timeline, we can now see that it's correctly detecting humans and logging those events. We can see the same thing from our GUI. If we go to the camera, right click, hit Playback, and then select persons. Just zoom in here. That notification. And there we go. There's a person. Yep, there's a person. And see, it's now correctly flagging events. So by optimizing your detection zones, migrating from motion detection to ultra motion detection classification, and implementing notification rules, your system network will now function as a more reliable and accurate security system. If this tutorial helped to clarify your timeline, please like the video and subscribe for more direct walkthroughs. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.